In TD Ameritrade Zone Jenny Horn and Vice President of Research for LikeFolio, Miss Megan Brantley. Megan, good to see you.
Good to see you guys too.
I don't know why we need to talk about all this pizza right ahead of lunch, but here we go again. You know why we're talking about it? Because Domino's is such an interesting company when you break down their technology and how they've reinvented themselves really and made themselves so universally popular.
Yes, for sure. They kind of capitalized on that tech persona, I think. And previously that really helped them and that really helped drive their purchase intent. But now, we're seeing they're actually kind of lagging in terms of tech just because they're refusing to jump on board with some trends, some food delivery trends and other companies that we're seeing. So you can really see a nice divergent setup here. When you look at this chart, you can see purchase intent dropping. So people talking about ordering from Domino's dropping, that green line, versus the stock is, it's up pretty well. And so it's about 10% down purchase intent. And in the same time period, the stock's up 15%. So this is we drool over setups like this, especially going into earnings.
Megan, the biggest headline I saw on Domino's this morning was that they're offering 50% off all their pizzas from now until July 21st, so kind of to coincide with Prime Day. I thought that was absolutely hysterical. And this is a company where we all were talking outside in the newsroom about our favorite pizzas. It seems like people are really brand loyal to their favorite pizza, especially here in Chicago. We're crazy about pizza. Do you see any brand loyalty that can kind of help or hurt Domino's?
I think what's interesting is now, previously whenever you wanted to have something delivered, you had to go with pizza. So you might have been more brand loyal to a single company or a single preference. But now that people have options, in 2017, we saw just a surge in all of these companies. You got DoorDash, you've got Postmates, you've got Grubhub, Uber Eats, and you can see that generic mentions of people using food delivery is booming, but people talking about pizza delivery specifically is failing. It's starting to falter. And so I think that that's something that's a big headwind that these pizza companies are facing. And especially for Domino's specifically, what's interesting is as their purchase intent has decreased, we've actually seen their happiness levels decrease. And the reason I say that's unusual is because typically when you have less people talking about buying a product, those are your loyal customers, the ones that have stuck around with you. And the fact that even those loyal customers are less happy, that's not a good sign for Domino's.
Yeah, Megan, you're making such a great point here because think about this. Domino's differentiated themselves years ago by saying, remember, if it's not there in a half hour, it's free. Mm-hmm. They were the original quick delivery food service that delivered to the home. How could they possibly be falling behind when they invented this process, basically?
I think that expectations are so high now. When they rolled out that pizza tracker, people thought it was so cool. And, that's what really branded them as a tech company and this whole persona that they've embraced. But now that's just the norm. We ordered food on Friday to the office and I got a notification when my order left the restaurant. I could track my driver and I got a text message when they were about to arrive. So that's kind of, the new expectation is that in real time what's going on with your order and what's going on with your food. And the fact that the leadership at Domino's has said, we're not partnering with these delivery services. I'm not sure if that's the wisest choice for them.
Jenny Horn, what are you seeing from social media? You've got your finger on the pulse of this.
I do, because I totally agree with you, Megan, and I've seen kind of a lot of that reflect on social media today. So our first tweet is from Ed Borgato, who says, the least efficient thing we do is put 4 to 5 pounds of food in a 5,000-pound machine driven by a human being, says Rich Allison, the CEO of Domino's Pizza. Same for every delivery model. So basically the CEO came out and kind of said, I'm anti this delivery model, we're not doing this. And I kind of think this is the kind of thing where if you can't beat them, join them. It seems like Megan, you're saying, it's really hurt their business model, if anything, because we are very hands-on as consumers, let's face it. I like to see the minute my food gets picked up, the minute it's driving towards me when it's a block away, I'm crazy like that. And I think I'm probably not alone in this process. So I think this has been a major headwind for the company as a whole.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, a lot of their competitors in the same sphere, they're working with these food delivery companies. You look at Papa John's, they're partnering with a food delivery company, I believe DoorDash. And when you look at Yum, Pizza Hut, they're partnering with Grubhub. And I think that in previous earnings, they've benefited from these partnerships. So Domino's they're working on, I think, an autonomous vehicle partnership with Nuro. I mean, I guess that's cool. That's rolling out in Houston. I don't know how feasible, globally and even internationally that is, but in the meantime, we're watching their purchase intent levels suffer. And so, we're not expecting a very positive report tomorrow.
And Megan, this is one of those great situations when LikeFolio really adds value, because you're talking about a divergence in the stock price and customer happiness or consumer happiness, all those things. I mean, you're talking, this is when LikeFolio does its best work, right?
Yes, the first chart of that divergence that you see, that purchase intent, whenever we see it going down and the stock going up, and you're talking about a 25% divergence. That's really significant for us. That's something, that's like warning bells that we think that their revenue is really slowing. I think that they've been able to capitalize with, managing their profit margins and even buying back stock. But how long can they maintain that as the revenue continues to decrease?
And this is also a company we've talked about a few times on Cash Tags. And I have to say, today is a day I saw the least tweets I've ever seen, which was kind of remarkable because I'm a little biased. And the
stock's down about 3 3/4%. So right, it's heavy and no one's talking about it.
Exactly. So I was kind of surprised. But our next tweet is from ML, who says, read the Domino's Pizza commentary on this. They build their ordering platform in-house and it's one of the best. What happens when Chipotle decides to do this or other operators? This is playing out in a parallel way to the retail e-commerce evolution omni-channel. So this is a little bold, but I think a huge thing that basically Domino's came out a few years ago and had this whole technology play. They stopped kind of being this food company. They were more of this, they had this really advanced tracker, right?
Yes.
But it seems like they haven't really done anything since then. So now they're saying maybe a Chipotle will do something like this, but I think Chipotle is doing the food delivery services and they're riding that out. So I don't really see this being totally accurate.
Megan, you cannot win today's game with yesterday's home run, Megan.
That's so true. Jenny, I think you're right. Like, whenever we look at people talking about delivery services, Chipotle is one of the top benefiters. They're one of the first names that you see alongside people who are utilizing these things. And so I think that they're doing a good job capitalizing on it. I don't understand Domino's double down on these autonomous vehicles. I guess they're trying to get ahead of the curve there, but that seems like a really big investment, not a lot of return in the short term for sure.
Whenever I speak to millennials and I bring up the word Chipotle, there's just a whole different vibe that happens.
I know, I wish Alex was here. He'd get very excited. He loves
exactly.
Chipotle.
All right, Megan Brantley, Vice President of Research at LikeFolio. Thanks for coming on. Always great stuff. Even better on a day like this where you get this diversion. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, thank you, guys.
All right, Jenny, virtual trade today with you and Scott Connor. What do you got?
Today we will talk about the benefits and risks of long put condor spreads. We'll go into how to construct a long put condor, and we'll go into an example trade.
Lots of options in condors, lots of fun in condors.
Yeah, just like in the A block today.
All right, that's it. We're going to